I'm going to demonstrate in this video the Italian bind off. It works beautifully in two-color brioche, especially when you've started with the Italian cast on. Then the Italian bind off will match it perfectly. Okay, I would have been ready to work a right side or a light side color row. As you can see, my stitches on this side are the same color as the yarn that I'm going to use to stitch it up. I've cut the blue color already, and I've woven it in. And then I've left the light color longer so that at least 4 times the width of what I'm going to bind off, so that I can use that to bind off and I won't have an extra end. Okay, to begin with, you need to catch this first thread by putting your tapestry needle as if to purl through that first stitch, and then pull this through and pull it kind of tight. Okay, then you need to catch the second stitch, the very first purl stitch as well. You do that by going behind the work. I don't know if you can see this very well. You go behind the stitch and then catch the front, go from behind to the front of the stitch and then catch that, as you can see. Okay, now pull that tight. Now we're going to go into from the front to the back of the first stitch. I'm going to drop that stitch, sorry. And then I'm going to go from the back to the front of the next knit column stitch. And I'm going to pull that tight. Now I'm going to do 2 purl stitches. I'm going to go from front to back for the first purl stitch. And I'm going to skip that knit stitch, and then I'm going to go from the back to the front of the following purl stitch. And then I'm going to pull this thread tight. And I'm going to drop that first purl stitch. Okay, now I'm going to go from front to back of the knit stitch, and I'm going to go from back to front of the following knit column stitch. I'm going to pull that tight. Okay, I'm going to go from the front to the back of the first purl stitch, and then from the back to the front of the following purl stitch. And I'll drop that purl stitch. Okay, now from the front to the back to the front, the knit column stitches. Oops. You can see how that, and then from the front to the back, from the back to the front. Oops, didn't catch it. Back to the front of the next 2 purl stitches that I need to use. And I drop that purl stitch. Now I go from front to back to front. You can see it's making a nice little edge. Then I go from front to back, from back to front. Pull that through. Yeah. Drop that purl stitch. Go from front to back. And I'm at my last stitch. And then I just run this through both stitches at the end. And I'm done. That's the Italian bind off.